Hey everybody, welcome to Old Roommates. Today on the show, we revisit Saturday Night Fever, that John Travolta classic. So meet us at Barracuda, or probably Barracuda. We're about to begin the show.
Welcome, everyone, to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
And Brian, I want you to compliment me.
Oh.
Because that's the second time in a row that I did the opening just the way, just very flat, the way you like it.
Oh my God! Why would you even say that?
Because you usually say, well... They
because it's a little. Well, sometimes.
So I just wanted to let you know I'm making an effort.
God. People like consistency. They want to know they've tuned into the right podcast. They like
personality.
There's like a million podcasts out there, and they're tuning into this one. I think.
And yet we are charting.
Oh, we're
charting
Denmark,
even with all the millions.
Thank you, Denmark. So Saturday Night Fever, 1977. Christina, we begin, as we always do, by talking about then. Please tell us, Christina, the first time you remember seeing this movie.
Okay, you are going to be shocked by this.
Okay.
You really are going to be shocked by this. I saw this movie in the movie theaters.
Oh my God.
I was 10 years old.
Jesus.
Or 11. Was it 77?
77.
Right? So I was 10 years old.
Wow.
Somehow I got into the movie theater. I was trying to think of, because I know I saw it in the movie theaters, because I'll tell you right now. So this movie, so when I think of Saturday Night Fever, I think of the three movies. I wonder if you feel the same way. Saturday Night Fever, Grease, and Sgt. Pepper's.
No.
Okay. So I always think of these three together because I always, all right, so I subscribed to Dynamite magazine when I was a kid, and I think that's where I got my pop culture fix.
Cool.
And I remember them all together, like they all got released about the same time. So Grease was, so this was the first one. This was released in December of 1977. Grease was released in June of 78. Okay. So it was like a mere 6 months later. And then Sgt. Pepper's was July of 78. And I think that they always had these three things always featured on like the cover of Dynamite. So I think that's why I've always kind of relayed them all together, the three of them. And I remember just loving John Travolta because I was a huge fan of Welcome Back, Kotter. Like I loved Vinnie Barbarino. So when this came out, I was completely pumped because of John Travolta, and I was completely pumped. What do you...
I'm counting. I'm just kind of trying to figure out the years, that's all.
So I have it written down.
No, it's only...
Welcome Back... I'm just letting you know, so you don't have to... Welcome Back, Kotter was 75 to 79.
Okay.
That's when it was on the air.
Cool.
So I was a big fan of him, and I was excited to see the movie, and apparently nobody cared that it was R. Like, this is what blows my mind. I'm like, somehow I got into this movie, and my only thought is maybe I was at, like, the Stoughton, remember the Stoughton movie theater in the middle of town? Like, I don't think there was a lot of, like, there was, like, one theater. It's old. It's, like, old. It doesn't, it's not
I'm still
anymore.
Surprised, though.
But I don't think anybody was really checking IDs. Like, it was, like, just one movie theater.
Okay.
And I just don't remember ever being any, like, tough security there.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. And... like, so my then is I was excited to see this movie, and I don't think I've ever been more traumatized by a movie than this movie. Because of, spoiler alert, the bridge scene in the friend falling to his death.
Yeah.
I was 10 years old watching this movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember, I remember a couple of things about it. I don't remember the, sexual assaults. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the language. Mm-hmm. I don't remember much of the, like, relationship storyline. But I remember that freaking scene of him falling and me being like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, I was shocked and traumatized. And that scene stayed with me probably my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So, even more, so much so that I never watched this movie again.
Wow.
Yeah, I never wanted to see it again. And it reminds me a lot of your Gremlins comment, because I remember you saying, like, you did not like the kitchen scene. Or the microwave. There was one thing in the Gremlins
the microwave,
that you never wanted to see it again because it was, like, so traumatizing.
It was the microwave, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, so that is my then.
Oh, my God. So, it's so funny about the bridge. Because that's what I remember about this movie. Because so here's what's kind of effed up. I think the first time I watched this was on like Channel 56.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I saw a TV edited version because
is it like 10 minutes long?
But here's the thing: watching this now, and I know we're talking about then, but that bridge stuff. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was so traumatizing to me too that I thought it happened earlier in the movie. It happens quite at the end. There's the fake one. There's the fake one where they're all like, they're trying to scare someone.
And even just watching it now, I was like, oh my God, this is it, this is it, this is it. Like,
yeah.
I was anxious watching that.
And now to be honest though, because I remembered, like, I remember watching it excitedly, like, oh good, there's going to be cool dancing and stuff, like, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
But I only remember all the negative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I saw it on TV because I do not remember that backseat stuff with Donna Pescow. And I can tell you flat out, there was not that scene where they're flat out having sex and they just all walk up to the car and they're like, hey, you almost done? You almost done? He's like, yeah, I'm almost coming. I'm going to come. And it's like, what is this? What am I watching?
It's like right on the side of the road. Too. Like
it's not even that dark out. It was so weird. And then she and then you think they're stopping, but the girl's just like getting on top of him. No, she's just getting on top of him. So I'm like, what is this? I had never seen that scene before. So that's why I'm thinking I saw this on TV.
Yeah.
But I remember being, wow, this is a downer. So much so that when we talked about revisiting this, is like, this movie's depressing. Like, I'm not going to enjoy this because... And I'll tell you this, the bridge stuff, in my young little mind, I was honestly unsure if this was suicide. Because he was because he was so depressed.
I 100% agree with you. Like, I thought it was more of a suicide thing, but it wasn't. It was more of like he just fell.
Yeah. Yeah, he was being goofy and stupid and all coked up, right? Because he was talking about coke all the time. Right. And excuse me. And yeah. But again, I always thought it happened way early on. Yeah. And that Tony was traumatized by this death. I didn't remember the ending to save my life. So
I feel like I stopped even watching it after, like, obviously not, but like my mind couldn't get away from that enough to enjoy the rest of the movie.
But yeah, so all that to say, before, the then is very negative. Yeah. Very like a depressing movie. Mm-hmm. So now let's get into now, and let's dive right in. Christina, take it away.
So the now, I did forget a lot about this movie. Yeah. Some of it started coming back. Obviously the iconic walking down the street, staying alive, like that I remembered 100%. Even down to like the outfit and the, all that kind of stuff. It was so funny. But, the thing was, watching this time around, I was trying to get the feel of it. Like, what is the tone of this? Like, what is the reason we're watching this movie? And, like, I couldn't figure out, like, is it a drama? Is it a comedy? Like, because some of the stuff he's saying is pretty funny. Mm-hmm. I will tell you, I think that John Travolta did well in this movie. I did like him in this movie. There were a couple of times where he slips into like Vinnie Barbarino, but I mean, it was kind of a clear slip. The rest of it, he seemed pretty separate from Vinnie. Like he seemed like a different character to me, which would be a little bit difficult to do as an actor, I would think, especially as an actor early in his career. Yeah. But I thought he did a good job. But the whole tone of the movie, I just couldn't figure out what is the point of this movie. Sitting at, like, I'm thinking it's drama or whatever. And then you have the scene at the dining room table with all the family, and they're like hitting each other and stuff. And I was cracking up laughing. I'm like, this is hilarious. It reminded me so much of Moonstruck. Yeah. Right?
Well, it's the same actress, too.
Oh, is it the same actress?
The mom. The mom is the one who runs the store with the money. Oh
my God. I didn't even realize that. That's amazing. Yeah. So, total Moonstruck vibes. And then he's like, he hit my hair. He hit my hair. You know, that kind of thing.
No.
Funny.
It is so funny.
Funny.
And it's meant for laughs.
Yes. But then it turns a little bit serious when he's like, don't ever hit me.
Yeah. And then the mom says, we said we wouldn't hit at the dinner table. Which is funny, and then also like, oh.
And then you're like, oh shit, like, was that supposed to be funny?
Yeah.
So I guess I was like confused about the tone throughout the whole thing, and I was a little confused about what is the goal here. Because they're entering a dance contest, but that doesn't seem like the general tone. And then you're seeing him like kind of struggling a little bit with like, not even struggling. To be honestly, I didn't even feel like he was struggling. Like I felt like he was just living his life. But I felt bad for him because he's like stuck in the paint store. But he didn't seem to like...
It's a slice. You're right. It's a slice of life, but you know, I think he's at a crossroads where it's like, what am I going to really do with it? Because that woman keeps calling him out on it. She's like, let me guess your life. And she guessed it.
Yeah.
And I think that really threw him off. That that he's this predictable cliche. His brother is idolized because he's a priest.
Right.
And what is the future? Like he's at the hardware, this happens much later on in the movie, but he's at the hardware store and he's like, oh, Joey's been here for 15 years.
Yes.
So-and-so's been here for 19 years. And he's like, yeah.
But that's the only glimmer of it that you see. There's no real conversation about what he wants to do after that, or unless I missed it.
No, but I think isn't that okay? Isn't it okay to not know what you want to do? Because he doesn't even want to. You think he's going to say, "I want to be a dancer." He doesn't even say that.
Right. And I think that's fine not to know, but it didn't seem like he was concerned. I felt like it was just very like a flat sort of okay.
But that's the point, because then the whole ending accelerates that. It's like, oh my God, am I just like a loser on a bridge? My friend just died. Like, I won this dance contest, but did I really win it? Or I just like know the right people. He's like, my friends
definitely did not win that dance contest.
Absolutely not. Drove through the Barracuda bar and beat people up. And one of them like punched a girl. I mean,
oh my God, didn't that shock you?
Oh my God.
It's like, holy shit, he did not even hold back. He just punched her fucking right in the face.
Right in the face. And she went flying. Oh my God. But, and I think also too, I think even with the date rape, it's a gang
rape.
Gang rape of Donna Prescow in the back of the car, and he's like not looking, and he knows what's going on. He's like, I hope you're proud of yourself. But it's like, I think
he blames her.
I think he was just burning out on this. And then he meets this slightly older woman. Although in real life she's 9 years older than him.
I remember thinking as a child, like watching it, that she was way too old for him.
Interesting.
Yeah, I remember thinking she's like a mother. Like it just didn't seemed really, really off for them to be together.
Well, can I tell you this? I remembered Annette, and I didn't remember Stephanie. So this woman that he's the object of his affection, I didn't remember her at all.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember her speaking.
Let me tell you this. Around the same lines.
Yeah.
I remembered there was one woman. I can't tell you what I thought, if I thought it was Annette or if I thought it was Stephanie.
Yeah.
But I remembered I didn't remember them being two women. I never remember that. Yeah. So it was very similar.
But I know we're jumping around. But going back to your original question and concern, I think it's okay that it's about that. I think, you don't even, sometimes in life you don't know that you're maybe on a dead end. You don't even know it's bad until shit happens, and you're like, God, what am I doing?
But I felt like there was no not even a conclusion, but nothing really came to fruition with that. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just like
at the very
I missed
the very end. He says, I want to do stuff, and that's why that woman Stephanie. I loved the end of this movie because I kept thinking it was going to end with the dance contest.
Right.
And it so doesn't. The last dance sequence doesn't. It happens a while before the end of the movie, actually. Yeah. And so you have that, and then he goes to her house because the death has happened. He's fallen off the bridge. He's all upset, and he travels throughout the night to to Manhattan, and he gets there, and she's like, "Are you going to be a jerk or whatever? Are you going to try to rape me? Yeah, he's like, are you going to try and rape me? Yeah." You think she says, "You're going to try and rape me again?" And
I'm so glad that she didn't open the door right away from him.
Yeah, and she's like, "I'm just letting you know, I'm letting a possible rapist in my house right now." And she said it twice. Yeah. That felt
that was good. I was glad that she said that.
And he, but then he sits down at the window, and he says something to the effect of like, I don't want to work in a hardware store my whole life, or something like that. And what I found so funny, and it made me really like it, was that she's like, I wrote some of it down. She was like, doing what? How? What are your skills? But she's laying into him but she knows he's right.
Yeah.
Like, she's identifying, like, good, he's actually listening to me, because he's going around sexually assaulting women, beating up people, putting people in the hospital, like, having like burnout ends and like going dancing, spending all of his hardware store money at the dance club, and just like going around being an asshole. Right. And so he's like, I think she's excited that he wants to change, but she's like, no, it's not that easy, kid. Like, what even can you do? Mm-hmm. And that's how the movie ends. They're basically like saying like they'll be friends. Clearly they won't be. Like then they start holding hands, and the movie ends. It doesn't end with a big dance number. It doesn't end with this positive, excited feeling to it.
Yeah.
It's just that he's identified that something has to change.
Which is fine. I just felt like the end was just too abrupt. Like, I just felt like that's how it ends? Like, I had no recollection of the ending at all. Mm-hmm. But then, and I did feel like there was a little bit more, there should have been a little bit more after the death of Bobby. But it was just weird to me. It was a weird ending to me. And I guess I didn't really feel like he was going to change. And maybe I missed a lot of that conversation, too. I might have missed a lot of what she was saying.
But the other thing about what you're saying about the tone, I 1,000% agree. I have very similar notes to you in that. Because it's like, it starts off, he's walking down the street, and Fever, in the title card, blinks.
Yeah.
It says Saturday night, and then Fever starts blinking on screen. It's hilarious to me. And then he gets 2 slices of pizza. Like, you follow him on this whole little journey. I actually loved it. And he gets 2 slices of pizza.
I loved it, too.
And he layers. He puts the pizza slices on top of each other. He's like walking down the street. A woman walks by him. He turns around and checks her out. Another woman walks by him, and she looks back.
Yep.
And he's like, oh. And then he's holding the can of paint because he's running late to give it to the customer. But he's very...
that customer is his real life mother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the pizza girl
yeah.
is his real life sister.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think I almost guessed that the sister was related to him.
Yeah.
But what I thought was funny is like he's very like he's quick. Like he's like he's like when the guy says something about his wife's ass. He's like my wife's ass is red, like my wife's red in the ass over this. And he's like, what color is your wife's ass? No, what did he say? So anyway, the question is, what color he says? Yeah, what color was your wife's ass before? Or what color is your wife's ass now? And he's like, excuse me, what color is my... He's like, well, if it's red now, what color was it before? And they both started laughing. Like, he knows how to talk to people. He is charming.
Oh, 100%. People love him. Yeah. People want to be with him.
But I love the thing about the hair. Don't hit me in my hair.
Oh my God, that was so damn funny.
He's so proud of his style. And like when he ever says, oh my God, there's this beautiful shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that too about him. And because he could be obnoxious, but there's something about him that's charming, the way he does these things. Like he's just, it's like a little bit stupid.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like just a little bit
of
that.
It's so narrow, like narrow-minded. Like he covers his dress shirt with a sheet at the dinner table. Yes. One really funny line, the mom, so he's late. Wait. No. She's running late with dinner. And she says, dinner's going to be late tonight. But you would have been late if it was normal. I love the hitting at the dinner table. And then...
And I did like... Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say, I did like the whole... The relationship felt real between
super
the family.
Real. Even the grandmother, who doesn't speak much English, but she knows what's going on. Yeah. Really good. But then there's the shift where he hangs out with his friends. And he's a slightly different character, as most people are with their friends.
Sure.
Slightly different. We find out that Tony has a pussy finger. His finger that he reserves for pussy. We get this little charming poem that I will not say the words to.
Okay.
Put your dick in a SP. And he's like, put your dick in a blank. Does it get bigger in a N-word?
Yeah.
And the thing that, not the funny thing, the thing that pissed me off so bad is, like, I was really loving this character. Until this happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're just flat out racist. And it's 1977. It's in, Queens? And, no, it's in Brooklyn. It's in Bay Ridge. And I'm familiar with Bay Ridge. Carl and his brother used to live in Bay Ridge. And we have some friends that live there now. And, really? The N-word? Really calling Hispanic people or the SP word.
Yeah.
Terrible. And they made a rhyme out of it about fucking them.
Right.
I mean, it's just, I was like, wow, this is a bit of a shift because the first part, you're walking down the street with him, you love him. He's super charming. His Family Guy, he's super funny. He's like, he gives a shit, he cares, he's respectful, he's a funny guy. Then he's with his friends and he is racist. Yeah. He is a chauvinist, misogynist.
Might as well just be in Porky's.
It has a bit of that.
And they throw the C word around like it's nobody's business.
Oh my God. Are you going to be a nice girl or a C?
Yeah, you decide.
And they say the C word.
Yeah, they say the C word.
Multiple times.
Multiple times.
And the women... Tony, can I wipe the sweat off your forehead?
And then she goes on to say, oh, Tony, I love to see you dance. I love to watch you dance. Tony, I love to watch you dance. I love to watch you over and over and over again.
Like she is on some drugs, right? It's weird.
As she's wiping his face, I love to watch you dance.
He ditches her on the dance floor.
Yeah.
He brings her out there, barely dances with her, and then leaves her.
Yeah.
So a couple little bits of trivia, so I don't forget them, because this is where they appear in my notes. Travolta didn't want a dance double. Originally, they were going to have a dance double. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to. He trained 3 hours a day and lost 20 pounds.
Wow, he was pretty thin.
Conversely, donnapescow went for the role of Annette, and they said, you're too pretty for Annette, because Annette's kind of desperate.
Sure.
And that, at least in that day and age, desperate equaled unattractive.
Yes.
So donnapescow said, what if I gain some weight? And they said, okay. So she gained weight. He lost weight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like, oh my God. And by the way, is she even overweight in this movie?
No.
She looks good.
She looks fine. And he was trained by Danny Terrio.
From Dance Fever.
The host of Dance Fever. And I remember Dance Fever, and I remember that coming out and being like, because he was a big deal, Danny Terrio. Dance Fever was a fun show. We loved that. We used to watch it all the time.
Yeah.
And I remember it coming out like, what? John Travolta was trained by Danny Terrio. It was a very, very cool thing to find out.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course they had this movie inspired one of my all-time favorite sitcoms. I guess it's a sitcom. From the 70s, I'm assuming 70s, early 80s, Making It.
This inspired Making It?
Yes. It was basically in the movie. David Naughton.
Yeah,
Am I saying that correctly? Right. David Naughton. Do you remember the show?
I remember the song.
So the show, I remember the show vividly because I was right in it, you know, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And I loved him, David Naughton, because he was like the, John Travolta character or whatever. Apparently it was my type. But, one season.
Oh.
One freaking season. I couldn't believe it. But Making It is an iconic song.
That song is like... who just recently... they covered it.
So I know what it was. It was the show Baking It.
That's right. That's right. Yes, yeah. Baking It. I like that.
About that?
I love that show.
Yeah,
I loved it.
The show was so good. But yeah, they did the song Baking It. And then they're like, no more, making it. Like, it's so good. Anyway, I love that song. Yeah. I still love that song. Loved the series. I would love to revisit it just because I'm sure it's terrible. But in my 10-year-old mind, I loved it.
Getting accused of that. Remember You've Got It Made?
Yeah.
That was good.
Was that, wait, and what was...
Anne Gillian and Sherry Lee Ralph.
Yeah, no, was it You've Got It Made?
Is that right?
It was...
We've Got
it.
We've Got It Made?
I don't know what it was, but I love that show too. But then there was the Donna Pescow, Angie. I wrote Angie a few times in my notes because she's so, like, for me, synonymous with that. That's right. Maybe we should try to revisit that someday.
Oh my God.
That would be good. That was such a good concept too. My favorite, and I know we're talking about Saturday Night Fever right now, but my favorite episode of Angie is when they were, because obviously, for those of you who don't know, Angie was sort of blue collar family, married a millionaire.
Oh, see, I guess I don't remember
it
very
oh my
well.
God.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between our ages now, right?
I think so.
Married a millionaire. So it was like kind of like the two worlds colliding.
Yeah.
And her mother was what's-her-face from Raymond. The mother on Raymond.
Oh my God.
What's her name?
Oh my God, Jesus.
I'm so sorry, I forget her name. I love her. But she was the mother on Angie. But anyway, my favorite episode on that was they went on Family Feud. And... like
Doris Roberts.
Yes, thank you so much. And it was hilarious because the millionaires, it was like, name something that's in your refrigerator, and be like, caviar, and like I just thought that was hilarious because they were so out of touch and they never knew anything else. Okay, so that's it. That's all I'm saying about Angie. Look at a little mini revisit.
That's great.
Little mini revisit inside.
The main actress, or one of the main actresses in this, is Karen Lynn Gorney, who plays Stephanie.
Okay.
She is, again, 9 years older than Travolta at the time this was made. I guess she still is.
She must still be.
She had dance experience. However, tragedy struck because she had been in a motorcycle accident.
What?
Right before filming, and so she struggled keeping up with Mr. Travolta. And I have a really kind of mean note. So
okay,
and if you watch closely, you can kind of tell. I just wrote, she's so stiff in her solos.
Well, and I also struggled. Can we talk about the dancing a little bit in here?
Oh. Okay.
Can we talk about the dancing? I was underwhelmed by the dancing.
I don't disagree.
For a movie that, when people think of Saturday Night Fever, they think of the disco movie. Right? And that's what they think of,
that delivered disco to the masses.
Yes. Yeah. I was underwhelmed. I was expecting better dancing.
You know what I wasn't expecting, and I agree with you. I completely agree. It's all synchronized in a group. Is that disco?
That is disco. Yeah, it's like the hustle.
So the whole thing is like the electric slide.
Yeah, it's like that.
This is the electric slide. Or the hustle.
Well, the hustle was the electric slide. Matt and I had this conversation. It's kind of funny. There's 2 times where I was impressed with the dancing. The first one is when they were doing the disco tango in the studio, and I really liked that dancing number there. Extra. Okay, I'm going to correct myself. 2 times that involved John Travolta that impressed me. And then the other one, and I really liked that number with the 2 of them. Yeah. And then the other one was he was dancing solo. It was after he was dancing.
I know what you're going to say.
Then
getting from his feet to his knees, or knees to his feet,
like that,
all across the dance floor.
Yes, and I feel like that whole number with him was really, really good. He was dancing with the brunette for a few minutes, and he's like, forget this. And then he just went out on his own, and like the dance floor clears, and he has like this whole thing with just him.
The brunette? Are you kidding? Who was it, Christina? It was Fran Drescher.
Oh my God, it was Fran Drescher. That's right. And I have that written down. Oh my God, that's right. And you know what's funny about that is I'm like, I think that's Fran Drescher.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, no, it isn't. No, I think it is. And I looked it up and I'm like, oh my God, it's Fran Drescher.
Hey, so, yes. you as good in bed as you are on the dance floor.
But she didn't have like the Fran Drescher voice really.
No, but that's the accent.
But it's the accent. But anyway, so that is the other area of when I was impressed with his dancing. The other dancing with the 2 of them, even like in the competition, was terrible.
Christina
Terrible.
1,000%. I'm like, they didn't win.
Maybe they did it on purpose.
It's a little snoozy.
It's wicked snoozy.
It gets better, but it starts off. I'm like, really, you're wasting your time with this shit right now?
Yeah, it was really, really bad, and I was almost wondering, are they doing it bad now because they want the audience to understand that they really didn't win? Do you know what I mean? Like I was like, they maybe because it was obviously bad. And then, of course, the Hispanic couple was fantastic. Like, that was like Dancing with the Stars level.
That was great. Yeah.
Dancing.
Yeah.
So, clear winner. And, of course, he doesn't win. But anyway. But I was for the most part, very underwhelmed with the dancing. I have a little bit of trivia.
Let's hear.
And I think it's really, really interesting. And here's the thing. I'm going to just preface it with. I read about it in one article.
Okay.
I have not fact-checked it.
Uh-oh.
But it seems like something that's kind of weird to not... I don't know. Anyway, I think it's true, but I haven't fact-checked it.
Just say it!
So, the Bee Gees music was added after production, post-production.
So I heard Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder and Boz Scaggs.
Oh, I know about Boz Scaggs. Okay.
Yeah. So... I think that is pretty amazing.
Yeah, they're dancing to the music.
All of these music,
yeah.
I mean, and 90% of it is Bee Gees, right? None of this music was in it while they were doing the actual dancing.
Yeah.
So they were doing some of it, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty amazing. The one time I did notice it...
Oh my God, I wanted to say the same thing.
Oh my God, I wonder. The one thing I did notice it wasn't even dancing.
No, he's walking up to the stage.
Oh
and he's clapping, and he's clapping to the music, and it's not to the music at all.
Yes, and I'm like, oh my God, shouldn't he have... It's like he's supposed to have all this rhythm. He's so talented.
Christina, the same note. Christina, the same note. I know exactly the moment you're talking about.
I wrote,
he just came
be able to clap to the beat.
He just came in from outside.
Yes, and he's walking.
He's like, he's ready to get it going. And he has the two women. He walks with the two women on either side of him.
Yes.
And he, or one on either side of him. And he walks up and he's like going to the dance floor. Like, he's clapping to the music. And I'm like, this is not in the beat.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you noticed that.
That is hilarious.
Oh my God, it's so funny. So anyway, I just talked a whole lot. So let's...
But it's okay. I mean, because I really agree. I was nodding the whole time.
Yes.
It's, Christina, this is how long is this movie? This is over 2 hours.
2 hours,
We have so many similar notes that it's surprising. Like that more, I mean, I don't know. Not to say this... I don't know. That's a little bitchy. But, like, it's such an iconic film. You know, this is one of Gene Siskel's... film critic Gene Siskel's favorite film of all time. And
unbelievable.
So Travolta got an Oscar nomination. That was the only Oscar nomination. And that blows my mind. The Bee Gees have all this music in this movie for this movie, if I believe I'm correct on that. Not a single one of those songs was nominated for Best Original Song. That's weird to me.
That's very weird.
Also, Gene Siskel, when someone auctioned off John Travolta's white suit, he's the one that bought it.
No, oh my God.
That's how much you love the movie. So there's a lot to love, and yet at the same time, there's a lot that has. First of all, I don't even want to say not aged well, because I'm shocked it was successful to begin with. With so much racism, even when we talked about the ending with the Hispanic couple.
Yes.
Even when Tony gets upset because he said we shouldn't have won.
Right.
He doesn't say they should have... Do you have to go?
I'm sorry.
He doesn't say they should have won. He doesn't say that couple should have won.
Nope.
He uses a really derogatory term to say that to them, and then he gives them the prize, and they walk away. And then later on, he says the derogatory term again.
It's very acceptable in this movie for some reason.
But But it goes completely unchecked. Like, the N-word is used quite a bit in this. And it's like, no one, not even, like, one of, like, I hate to say it, but not even one of the women is like, hey, that's, like, pretty foul. Like, or,
I
know,
just,
like,
I don't know. I was supposed to believe that this is just how it was.
I don't know. Maybe it was, but
I mean,
it doesn't have to be, like, in a movie.
And I did happen to note, like, there were a lot of black people in the movie.
Yeah, that's what is so weird to me.
So it's not like it was, like, a racist director or whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously...
I guess it just goes unchecked, because these are supposed to be like the heroes of the movie, and they're being nasty. And even when the Hispanic couple gets up and they're dancing, and the black couple gets done dancing, and they're like, something like, not in this neighborhood.
Yes.
Like, whoa. I'm like, that is so rude.
They're so rude. And then they said something about, because they said that other really, just so rude. They said something like, the dance floor is going to be too slippery or something like that. And that idea, I'm like, oh my God, this is bad. They're not good people.
Yeah. I did laugh, and I wasn't sure if I was supposed to laugh. So after they crash the car through the bar, the car is completely fine.
Yes.
That blew my mind. But the other thing is, they go to visit their friend in the hospital, and they're all proud because they're like, we beat the shit out of these guys at Barracuda, and the guy's like, yeah, I mean, it's like, probably Barracuda, definitely. He's like, yo, probably Barracuda. And I laughed out loud, but I'm not sure if I was supposed to laugh.
I don't know
because they got really mad at him.
Yeah, it seems like it wasn't supposed to be funny, but I thought it was funny.
I laughed.
That's another thing. Like, was that even necessary? All that backstory of his friend getting beat
it was
up?
Not.
Like, I don't know about that.
Why, to show what men they are? Why? Because there's dancing and they don't want to be thought of as lesser men. So now they have to beat people up in order to dance later. So the other thing is
nothing from West Side Story.
The guy in the hospital bed, I'm like, did he fall in a bucket of gray paint? The makeup, the bruise makeup on him in that hospital bed. Do you remember what it looked like?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm like, what exactly is on him? Did they clean him up when he
usually a nurse will clean up.
Like that other movie where there was the fire. Was it The Outsiders? It's like, wouldn't they have cleaned the soot off him first?
Yeah. You would think.
What else you got, Christina?
So,
I have things that I loved. Should I get into that a little bit or no?
Sure. I will just say I just have one more note on this. Just says that there were some very, very enthusiastic dancers on that dance floor. I just remember seeing some of the hips going flying and arms going flying, just very and I think it was fun, but yeah. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. So the things I liked, I thought the friendship, as toxic as it was believable. Mm-hmm. I liked that the sort of druggy guy that jumps off the bridge, I liked that he was so off. And they knew he was off. He
was off the whole time. And I remember him being off, too. Even as a 10-year-old child, you could tell something was off about this person.
That actor, his name is Barry Miller. He was in Peggy Sue Got Married and Fame.
Oh, yeah, I remember him from Fame.
And let's see. I liked Tony's integrity, but I hated his racism in terms of the contest. And I'm telling you, I'll say this again. I loved that it didn't end with a dance number.
Yeah.
Most movies would have. And it didn't.
Yes, for sure.
And I have to say, as bleak and tragic as it was, I liked when Annette... I liked the directing of it. When he's like, are you serious? Oh, God. And he walks away and you don't know what she's holding in her hand. Mm-hmm. And they finally show it. And she's holding a handful of condoms. So this poor girl.
This was a really good performance by Donna.
Yep.
You felt really bad for this woman.
Yeah.
She was very desperate.
And
she played it really well. She had no self-worth at all.
Yeah.
She would do whatever it takes. So much so that she's having sex with his friends in the back seat.
In the hopes of making him jealous.
Like, who does that? First of all, who has sex in the back seat with the three friends in the front?
And then one guy's done and they pull over and the other guy gets in.
That was so disturbing to me. Brian, this is my new worst feeling for this movie.
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, I don't want to do this.
And she starts crying, yeah.
And she starts crying. Oh my God. It was like, really? This is horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. And then so much that he gets out of the car and his pants is still down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's crying. And then John Travolta's character, whatever, what's his name again? I forget.
Tony
turns around and is basically blames her. Are you happy now?
He did say that. Yeah, that's right.
Are you happy now? What's he say?
Proud of yourself.
And this is after Tony almost rapes.
Yes. Too. Yeah.
Are you proud of yourself? That's what he said. Yeah. Are you proud of yourself? Is that what you wanted? And she's bawling her eyes out.
Yeah. Like, and then the terror continues because then it's the bridge.
And then it's right at the bridge. That whole part is just so disturbing, so icky.
Yeah, I wrote yuck and ew. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't really understand why the second man had to be in the back. Like, I don't know why that had to be written into the script.
Because I guess it has to get pretty bad for Tony to make this, like, big leap to wanting a different life. Because I think it says, I mean, it's enough that she wants to do this initially. But it's worse that there's guys that are willing to do it. They have no connection.
No.
They have no romantic interest in her.
Nothing.
They don't even have a sexual interest, I would argue.
Right.
They don't even find her sexually attractive.
That's right.
But she is in the back seat saying, let's all have sex, take turns with me. And they go, okay. I mean, is this 1977 Brooklyn?
Right.
I don't know if this is a common habit. But, yeah, this was unsavory.
Yeah. But she's willing to have sex with several people if it means that he might be one of those people.
And that he might get jealous from it.
Or that he might get jealous too, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, no winners in that one. Another big chunk of this movie that I was like, I could have done without that. The older brother leaving the church. I thought that was wasted time, right? Or am I wrong?
Understand. Yeah, that's another part that it's like, why is this even a plot point?
And then he's like, don't call me father. Don't call me father. I'm like, all right, you need to calm down.
Yeah, you've been a father for whatever, how many years. You've been not a father for 10 minutes.
That's right.
And this poor guy clearly needs your help.
Yes.
Okay, you leave the church. Does that mean you're just not good anymore?
Right.
That's the whole, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, you don't have a collar on, but does that mean you're just not, a nice person anymore?
Yeah. It's
very strange. I do remember back when Tony puts on the collar and then uses it as a noose. I remember that being hilarious. I didn't think it was super funny this time, but I remembered that scene, which was kind of funny.
And then this will just ensure my place in hell.
Oh, here we go.
And I never talk this way.
No.
But I think just because of the setup of Stephanie, I've already talked about her dancing, but I didn't find her to be hot enough or sexy enough or alluring enough to get Tony off the disco floor and onto the ballet room with the private dancing. She's supposed to be so gorgeous because he was like, who's she? Who's she? Who's she? When he kept saying that, I was still looking for her. Truly. Because remember there were two women on the dance floor. And I wasn't sure which one he was even looking at. Because I was like, she's kind of girl next door looking. She's not she's
almost masculine-ish looking too.
Yeah.
She almost has that Kate Jackson sort of look to her.
I agree with that. And
I bet she's prettier now than she was then. I think she's the type of person that grows into her looks and becomes more attractive as she gets older.
Yeah. But I don't know, for me it was it's the original casting. Mm-hmm. So people that were in the running for this, Jessica Lange.
Interesting. I could see it.
And Amy Irving.
Interesting.
A little too innocent, I think, Amy Irving.
Yeah, I think Jessica... I almost said Jessica Tanzi.
Jessica Lange would have been interesting.
I think Jessica Lange would have been better.
Because she has a bit of a regalness about her that Tony would try and impress.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I could see her... she looks like she would be more successful and unattainable. Yeah. So I think that if the original actress played on that part of it a little bit more, because when she's talking, it doesn't seem like she's being honest.
Mm-hmm. She's
talking about all the celebrities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She drops names too much for it to sound like it's true. So to me, I was like, no, she's just on his level. She bought a nice suit or whatever, and she's trying, or maybe she's sleeping her way to the top.
Which is what it seems to be
happening. Yeah. But she didn't seem like she was out of his league. It just seemed like she was in his league in a different clothes.
Yeah.
And then she kept name dropping and all. And to me, it seemed like it was a blatant lie, all these people.
She grew on me as a character. I liked her more as the movie went on.
I liked her more as the movie went on, too. But with a Jessica Lange walking in, she already has that kind of air to her that she already is better than you. So there wouldn't be as much kind of convincing.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing about this other woman that screams, "You're out of my league."
No, because she also has the same accent he has.
Same accent. Yeah, exactly.
And she shoots. I did kind of laugh. I was like, oh shit, when she's like, well, Manhattan's just better people, cute, but more attractive people. But I was like, holy shit, cleaner. I was like, geez, how do you really feel?
How do you really feel? Exactly.
Should we take a little break?
Let's take a little break. That's a good idea. Okay, and we will. We'll be right back to talk more about Saturday Night Fever.
Hey there, it's Brian.
And Christina.
And we have some exciting news. We now have bonus content on Patreon.
If you're a fan of old roommates or simply enjoy revisiting pop culture, we would love for you to check out our page at patreon.com/oldroommates. Patrons of Old Roommates can expect exclusive content such as special episodes, movie recommendations, special videos from us, and bonus content, among other things. Your support will help us to create more content, offset publishing costs, and expand our resources to improve your listening experience.
Whether you become a patron or not, we appreciate your support. Drop us a comment on social media, give us a rating or review on your podcast app of choice, or send us a message at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Thank you for listening, and now, back to the show. And we're back, talking about Saturday Night Fever from 1977, written by Norman Wexler, directed by John Badlam. It's based on an article by music writer Nick Kahn. It was published in New York Magazine, in New York Magazine in 1976, called Tribal Rights of Saturday Night. So they got this whole movie out of one article in New York Magazine. The budget, $3.5 million.
Wow.
You know how much it made? $237 million.
Oh my God.
So, and
huge
also
hit.
but the budget was so low that for a lot of people in this movie, it was their first movie they ever made.
Oh my God.
And then John Travolta, they wanted him because he was like a TV actor and they knew they could get him cheaper. Because back then, everyone, particularly for our younger listeners, you couldn't jump. Like, if this was like the 70s, Nicole Kidman, Nicole Kidman does a lot of TV, Reese Witherspoon does a lot of TV now. That wouldn't happen now. That wouldn't have happened then, I should say.
You stayed in your lane.
That's right. If you were a movie actor, you're a movie actor. If you're a TV actor, you're a TV actor.
And forget about like a singer. Like that was another thing.
You would. So John Travolta, being a TV, quote unquote TV actor, they got him for dirt cheap to be in Saturday Night Fever, which would go on to make $200 and something million in a $3 million budget. Yeah, so 40% of the cast, it was their first movie ever. 40% of the cast.
That's pretty amazing. So he was supposed to be 19 in this movie.
Oh.
In real life, he was 23.
Okay.
But he said he was 19. Because he's like, oh, I'm 21. He's like, well, I'll be 21. Well, all right, I'm 19. Like, he went back down.
Did you not?
Mentally, I felt like he was 19.
Yeah.
When you look at him, he did not look 19. But
I remember people looked older then, though, too.
Yeah. Next to her, he looked 19.
What else you got, Christina? I have a match game.
I just wrote down one of these things. So Annette says, I'm growing. And he goes, why don't you go on a diet? It was so Vinnie Barbarino. Like, I'm like, that was Vinnie Barbarino.
Yeah.
That was not Tony. I did say that Stephanie is a terrible crier.
Ah, yes!
Right?
I agree.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Terrible, terrible crier. Do I have anything else? Just talking about the gang rape, super disturbing. And was that it? I think that's all I got. Oh wait, and Disco Duck. Remember that song?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was in this movie. Isn't that funny?
That's the other thing. I was surprised at their big the championship song isn't even a Bee Gees song. I mean, they wrote it, but they didn't sing it. It's not that if I can't have you. Yeah.
I don't want
wait, am I wrong? Is it More Than a Woman? Sorry, I'm so confused. More Than a Woman.
And that's not.
Which one was used in the big climactic dance?
I think it was More Than a Woman.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, I think it was More Than a Woman.
But is that Bee Gees?
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure. Because it all sounds Bee Gees because they wrote it.
I know they wrote them all.
Yeah.
So, anyway. But I do have a match game question.
Oh, well, wait. Before the match game.
Sure.
Speaking of songs.
We
should let them know.
Yeah, Patreon.
Right? Patreon. We are going to be... Oh, we did.
Yeah.
I haven't posted yet, but I will post it in a minute. So just after you listen to this, just wait a minute and then go to Patreon and it'll be up there. We have selfies stories, kind of. Not really selfie stories, but like we have selfies, videos of us talking about our favorite song from this movie.
And there's so many to choose from. It was a difficult choice.
So tell me about it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. So patreon.com/old roommates. And there's so many other things on there. I can't even, whatever. Just go there and look. There's so much. Literally, there's 50 things.
Way to sell it, girl.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's just amazing.
So we have match game. I have a match game question.
Okay, and I do too.
Awesome.
I do too.
So I like to hear.
Awesome.
Who wants to go first?
Why don't you go first?
Okay. Mine's a little dark.
Do you have the music queued up?
Oh my god, no. Mine's a little dark.
A little dark. Oh boy.
And I apologize in advance. It's really not pleasant, but I feel like it's important. Okay. Annette. Played by Donnapescow.
Yes.
And Annette is so desperate.
Oh, how desperate is she?
Thanks for asking. Well, now, instead of handing guys condoms, she's now handing out blank.
Oh boy. God, I don't even know. Let me think. This doesn't really make sense, but
Okay.
I think it's kind of funny anyway.
Ding!
Wait!
Oh! I'll turn the music back up.
Alright, I'm going to do this one this way.
Okay.
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 Oh my god.
Oof, Annette is
both of these answers are terrible.
Annette is so desperate.
How desperate is she?
Well, instead of handing out condoms, she's now handing out blank.
Vasectomies? I told you it was terrible. My first one's even worse. The first one's the morning after pill. But it doesn't make sense because she would take that.
Right, so mine...
I'm not on my game.
Do you want to hear mine or no?
Yes. Let's hear it.
I put roofies.
Perfect answer.
Right?
That's
this is sad.
That's a really
she's
good...
basically saying just roofie me.
Yeah,
no,
totally. Oh, I love it.
It's
I love
sad.
it.
All right, let's hear yours.
All right, so I also have a match game question. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Dumb Dora is so dumb.
How dumb is she?
She thought Saturday Night Fever was a movie about a disco dancing blank.
God. I think I know. I think we're going to match.
I think we are.
Ding.
Ding.
Wow, that was fast.
That was. All right, so Dumb Dora is so dumb. She thought Saturday Night Fever was a movie about a disco dancing...
Doctor!
Nice.
Disco dancing doctor.
And it's all da-da-da, which is nice, right?
Alliteration.
So very, very nice.
Oh, wait.
Awesome. Oh.
Do we like it more or less or
Oh my
about
God.
the same? This is tough. I think more. I have to be honest, isn't that awful? But I think more because it surprised me.
Well, I don't know. I think maybe less.
Oh, God.
And the reason is because I liked it up until the bridge. Okay,
But Christina, that happens at the end.
But listen, but
Okay.
here's the thing. So back then,
Okay.
when I was 10,
Okay.
watching this,
Oh, okay.
I liked it all up until the bridge.
Yeah.
So if I remove the bridge part, I would say I really liked it.
Okay.
And I probably would have watched it again.
Yeah.
Okay? Now I'm watching it and I just didn't feel like it was there. I didn't feel like the dancing was good.
Okay.
And I didn't feel like, even the story, I didn't feel like there was enough of a revelation for him. I didn't think Like, I still got so disturbed. I really got disturbed by the rapes.
Yeah.
Well, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's definitely rape.
There's just a lot I didn't like about it.
Yeah.
Whereas before, there was a lot I liked about it.
I liked it more because I think I didn't catch, certainly when I was younger, like, the performance of John Travolta.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he's really good in this. I think donnapescow is great in this. I loved the home, not the brother stuff, but the home stuff I thought had moments. And he seemed like a really lived-in character, and things did surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot get past, like, the racism, the slurs, the rape, and all that. And I just think it was very heavy-handed, perhaps to separate itself from having a TV star in the lead role. Mm-hmm. But I still think, in terms of now and then, that I like it better now.
I will say I appreciated the performance by Donna and John.
Yeah.
A lot more now. Like, back then, I wouldn't even have given it a thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
So I appreciate that more. But yeah, all in all, I think I was just let down. I was expecting it to be better, but it wasn't, so.
This is a rough episode.
Rough. And that's it for us in this episode of Old Roommates. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to Old Roommates on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And please give us a rating or review while you're there.
And if you're interested in more Old Roommates, including special episodes, bonus content, movie recommendations, and more, visit our Patreon page at patreon.com. That's patreon.com/oldroommates. Comments and ideas can be emailed to us at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Old Roommates.
Thanks again for listening. This is Christina.
And this is Brian. Until next time.